has been 7 full years, and most of these years I was blowing accounts, I was oversizing, I was thinking that I'm smarter than the market. It has been 7 years learning the hard way, and today I will compress everything that matters about trading psychology in under 20 minutes for you. So you'd better stay and watch the whole video, because it is not your strategy that is at fault, it is you, yourself. So if you really understand what I'm gonna talk about in this video, you will never look at trading the same way ever again. Let's go ahead and begin with real talk right now. First of all, I'm gonna be talking about the market. The market as not being your enemy. You like perceiving the market as your enemy, but it is not your enemy, it is your identity. It is you who is your own enemy. You have to understand that, guys. The market has no emotions, the market is not hunting you as you think it is, and the market does not care if you win or if you lose. The market doesn't even know that you exist, okay? What is hurting you, what is hunting you is your own ego. Most traders are not losing because of their strategy. They are losing because their whole identity is tied to being right. This is your issue. You always want to be right. You cannot accept the losses, in other words. You always want to be correct. You want to always call the tops, to always call the bottoms. You want validation. This is your issue. But professionals do not trade in order to be right the whole time. They just execute their plan, as I told you in my previous video. So detach your identity from the outcome. A trade is not a reflection of your intelligence or who you are. It is just a statistical outcome. Understand this, please. When you understand that, then losses are not an attack to your pride, to your ego anymore, and everything changes. You can trade like a proper trader. Throughout those 7 years of trading, I have also learned that consistency is very boring, and this is exactly another reason why you struggle. But trading needs to be repetitive, it needs to be predictable, and it doesn't need to be exciting, or I shall say that it needs to be not exciting, unexciting. But your brain, guys, is always seeking that dopamine. This is another issue. You are always seeking those big wins, you are watching those fake gurus showing the enormous win screenshots, and this has an influence on you. You also want to seek this feeling of dopamine. But dopamine in trading, as we said, is tied to losses, and it's not tied to a winning outcome in the end of the year or the end of the years. This is gambling psychology, and we are traders, we are not gamblers. Trading, professional trading, should be boring. Remember that. Very boring. You have to have the same process, abide by the same rules, have the same checklist, follow the exact same plan, have the exact same rules and the exact same execution every single time, like a robot. Okay, become a robot, because the moment you start feeling like you need this excitement, you force trades, you increase your risk, and the outcome is always, or almost always at least, a disaster, and you know it, guys. So if trading feels thrilling, you are doing it wrong. The third thing that I have learned throughout those 7 years of trading is that you are not impatient, you are just uncomfortable. Let me explain what I mean by that. You do not overtrade because you lack discipline. It is just that the time that you are waiting until your good setup appears, this time makes you feel uncomfortable. This waiting, doing nothing actually. So this waiting, this silence, this uncertainty makes you feel uncomfortable. Your brain is seeking the stimulation. It is seeking the dopamine that we talked about a little bit earlier on, if you recall. Professionals are comfortable with being flat, waiting, doing nothing. This is what separates professionals from you. Flat is a position and not trading is a decision. Remember that, guys. Master doing nothing, and I guarantee that to you that you will be eliminating most of your losses instantly. You will come back and you will thank me later for creating this video. The fourth thing that I have learned throughout my 7 years of trading is that losses are information and they should be used as information. Losses are not failure, because every loss asks you a question. Did I follow my rules as I was supposed to follow them? If yes, then you just move on. Losses, guys, are part of the game, but if not, then you have to go back and you have to fix that behavior now, immediately. The outcome does not matter. Okay, let the statistics play out. But the execution does matter. Remember that. This will be your shift from emotional trading to professional trading. Fifth thing that I learned from 7 years of trading. Your risk controls your psychology. Let me explain what I mean by that. Your risk, in other words, determines your psychological stability. If you trade too large, as I told you in the previous video, your brain goes into survival mode. Okay, your brain is fixed in a way, it is made in a way that it goes into survival mode. Your brain doesn't recognize trading. So if you feel like you're micromanaging every single trade, if your heart rate is increasing, if you have tunnel vision, it is about time to reconsider your risk, because you cannot think clearly under threat. And if you're over-risking, your brain perceives this extreme risk, let's say, as a threat, and you cannot think clearly. As a result, you will make all of the bad decisions in the world, because professionals choose sizing that keeps them calm. If you have a sizing that does not keep you calm, as I told you, if it increases your heart rate, if you feel nervous, if you're sweating and all of that bad stuff, then you will end up looking at every single tick and you will end up micromanaging the trade. This is not what you want to do. This is exactly what you don't need to do, and this will lead to disaster. So manage your risk properly and assume a risk that is fine for you, for your account, for your needs, and for what you have actually backtested. This is where consistency begins. Okay, now this is the sixth thing that I have learned from my 7 years of experience in trading, and this has to do with revenge trading. Revenge trading is all about control. What do we mean by that? You do not revenge trade in order to make money, but you are actually revenge trading in order to feel control. Let that sink in for a moment, a little bit. So you re-enter immediately after a loss just to revenge trade, not because your setup is there, but because your ego wants to fix what happened. And I'm referring to the loss that you have had. A professional becomes more selective after a loss and not more aggressive. Your mistake as a revenge trader is that you are becoming more aggressive after a loss. See how that differs with a professional approach? It is the exact opposite actually. The professional will even reduce the risk after a loss, you will increase it. This is revenge trading, and you are doing it, as I said, in order to satisfy your ego. And that's all you are doing, and it is hurting you, it is hurting your account. So if you feel urgency to re-enter, just step away from your PC. It is the best advice that I can give you. Refer back to this video if you want to rewatch the video again and again. Now, number 7 of the things that I have learned throughout those 7 years of trading, this is that the whole game of trading comes down to self-regulation. Okay, so successful traders self-regulate themselves, and this is the only way that you can succeed in the game of trading. So can you stay neutral after a win? So instead of being very happy, excited, can you stay just neutral and say, it is just part of the statistics, a win happened? Can you stay calm after a loss, as we talked about beforehand? Can you stay calm after missing a trade? Price comes like 10 ticks or pips or whatever you are trading, I don't care, from your entry and then skyrockets or dumps or whatever you were doing and you missed the trade. Are you able to understand that you're gonna have way more opportunities such as this one? Or are you attached too much in this single trade? I see that with my members in my Discord community every single time. They are attached to the outcome of one single trade. This is crazy, guys. Don't do it. Let the statistics play out. Let 50 trades play out, 100 trades play out, and then see the success that you will be having after following your system. By the way, my Discord is down in the description and in the comment section, as well as the one-on-one mentoring where I'm helping tens of traders become successful with 1 billion% guarantee. So professionals feel almost nothing when they enter a trade. I shall say nothing because they do understand that there will always be yet another trade. There will be an abundance of trades throughout your entire careers to enter, so you don't need to be attached to the outcome of one single trade. Please remember that. The eighth thing that I have learned in those 7 years of trading is that you do not have a strategy problem, but you do have a trust problem instead. What does that mean? What is trust? You don't trust your system. This is what I mean by trust. You do not trust your own system. This is why you hesitate. This is why you change models. This is why you're trying to add more and more confirmations every single time and adjust your model. You want certainty. This is your issue, but trading is about probabilities. Let the probabilities play out. Trust your system. It is as simple as that. And in order to trust your system, you cannot trust your system in one trade. You have to test it in a bundle of trades. Of course, your system needs to be tested beforehand, but you have to let those statistics play out. 20, 50, 100 trades, and then go ahead and draw your conclusions. Confidence is not emotional, it is statistical. So let the repetition, taking the same and the same boring setup again and again, build you this trust and the confidence in your trading, let's say, strategy. Let the data play out and build your confidence, because this is gonna come eventually if you follow your system again and again to the tick, and this structure eventually is going to build your discipline. But you have to let your system play out. The ninth thing that I have learned throughout 7 years of trading is that small size builds big traders. And this is kind of the subject of my previous psychology video. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it after this video. You need to feel in control of your emotions, and this is what you can achieve with a smaller trading size. Because if you cannot execute perfectly on a smaller trading size, you will never achieve anything on a larger trading size. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. The mistake that I see most traders doing again and again is that they start sizing enormously high and they are trying to build their discipline after they have first gone ahead and they have sized heavily. You cannot do that. You have to size small enough for your account or accounts in order to be allowed to remain disciplined. Does that make sense? It should be making a lot of sense. And I know that many of you are struggling in this regard. So master your control first and then scale. 10th thing that I have learned throughout those 7 years of my trading. The day that you stop needing trading, it is the day that you start winning. What do I mean by that? That when you stop needing trading to validate you because of potential other issues that you are going through or that you have gone through at some point in your life, when you stop trying to use trading as a form of validation, when you stop checking your profit and loss every 5 minutes, when you stop forcing trades just to feel that you are doing something, then you become really dangerous. Then you become a real professional. Because trading more does not mean more profits. Okay, being more selective means more profits on the one hand, and it also means more predictable profits on the other hand. Okay, because now you operate from clarity, and the market will reward this indifference, but it will not reward your desperation. This is something very, very important. Now here is something even more important, that most traders are gonna watch this video, they are gonna agree with every single thing that I have said, and still they are gonna change nothing. They are not gonna change anything. You are not gonna change anything, unfortunately, because information such as what I shared in this video does not create discipline, but structure does create discipline. Accountability does create discipline, and a proper environment does create discipline. This is where most of you remain stuck. You consume psychology videos, but you never implement them. Inside my Discord, we focus on execution. We do not focus on hype. We focus in a structured environment. We focus in accountability. People are getting payouts. People are passing their accounts. We have a process that we are following every single time. And for those who want an even deeper development, throughout my structured mentoring, I have built a robust, rule-based execution framework that gives you the exact structure that you need to follow, the exact rules that you need to follow, the exact risk and take profits that you need to follow, and the exact process that you need to follow every single time. To the point that if you go ahead and you follow those things as I'm gonna teach them to you in the one-on-one mentoring, I guarantee you profitability, because psychology without structure is just motivation. I'm not trying to just motivate you, I'm trying to provide a structured, nice environment for you where you will be able to know exactly your rules and you will be able to follow the structure every single time, take advantage of it and go for those beautiful payouts. The links are below. If you're ready, I will see you inside. If you're not ready, take this video, apply it, and prove it to yourself that you can apply the things that I taught you from experience in this video. So my lovely traders, 7 years of trading taught me this. Trading success has to do with emotional stability. It's the most important thing. You have to be calm, you have to be measured, you have to be controlled, and you have to execute the very same boring procedure every single day and every single time that you are placing a trade. Remember, the trader who wins is never the smartest one, and it is not the one that reacts the least either. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.